I wouldn't really call this the worst date ever. I think I'd call this the funniest date ever. And when I went to Thailand, I had this friend, and I was telling him like, oh man, like I really want to like get into a serious relationship, like not really into like a just for fun kind of thing, like not really just looking for a fling or anything. I was like, oh, can you hook me up with your friends or something? He's like, yeah, sure, man. So he was pimping me out, and he set me up with one of his friends. I will not tell you his name because he is actually a friend of mine on Facebook. We don't talk to each other anymore, but like still. So, I met him a couple of times, like I don't know, 1 or 2 times at his house, and I think the first time I was really drunk. So me and his friend were talking online, and I actually don't know who added who first, but he was like saying how he had low self-esteem. He said like he was ugly, like no girl would ever date him. Girl he liked didn't want to date him, or she had some fucking issues with it. Fucking ex-boyfriend or boyfriend or whatever. And I want to be a good Samaritan. I was just like, right here, buddy, right here. But he didn't really get the hint after the first 3 or 4 times. He's like, no, I'm too shy to ask a girl out. No girl would ever want to date me. It's like, just ask any girl. Like, how fucking hard can it be? Like, you ask someone. If they say no, congratulations, you just fucking move on, okay? Like, how hard is it? Like, you don't become like fucking emotionally attached to someone like a leech, and you get like, you throw a fucking tanty if they don't want you. You just ask someone else. They don't like you, that's fine, just move on. He was like, I'll never have a girl to ask out. No girl would ever want to date me. I was like, just ask any girl, Jesus Christ. And he goes, okay, do you want to go out with me? I'm like, okay. And what was it? So we set our first date on Saturday, when I didn't have, I don't know, it was like Saturday or when I didn't have school. I don't even know what movie we watched, but it was so fucked up, like at the beginning of the day. I was actually waiting for him at my house because like my mom was like, I don't know, my mom was like running errands. She didn't know I was going on a date, and I was like, well, if she doesn't know about it, she'll probably think I'm like in my room. And well, living here for 3 years, I now know that she like knocked on my door and asked me for food. He was 2 hours late to like the date, and I was just like, oh my god, this always happens. Like, either the guy wants to friend zone me, or he just wants me for sex, or he, I get stood up and he just leads me on. And I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. So I just went in my room. I was just playing on PlayStation 3, and then I get a call from him like 3 times. Like, I get 3 text messages from him, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, like, you will not believe like how fucked up this is. Like, my motorcycle broke like the day of our date. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious? Like, yeah, I'm so sorry, Emma. Like, I ran out of money. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fine, like, as long as you tell me about it. And he's like, I swear to you, I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm like, okay. I knew he was gonna keep his promise, because this was like his first date. So I was like, oh sweet. I knew he was a really nice guy. Eventually he arrived, and we were just laughing at each other. I was like, oh my god, talk about like a fucking, like, Mother Nature just does not want us to go on this date, right? And he's like, yeah, I know, tell me about it. Like, we were speaking, I wasn't speaking like that to him, because he was Thai, but he didn't really speak good English, but whatever. So he drove me to the mall, and we're gonna see a movie. Most fucked up thing in the world, all the power in the mall goes out except for the power in the movies. How fucked up is that? Anyways, so while we're waiting for the movies, we're just playing arcade games in the mall. Like, I don't know, he played like Guitar Heroes or something, and we're playing Street Fighter, I don't know. But we're pretty much like just talking and enjoying ourselves, and and then we went to watch a movie. And we watched 2 hours of the movie, and I was like, oh, this is actually a really decent date. Like, this is the first time like I've actually been on a date where a guy hasn't screwed me over. But I've got Gary now, and he's fucking perfect. And at the end of the movie, my mum is waiting at the movie theatre, and she was like telling this guy, like, oh my god, she's so bad for doing this, oh my god, I had no idea, she could have been in danger, blah blah blah. And he felt so awkward, like he was just like, oh yeah, it's so wrong of your daughter to do this, because he didn't know, like, I snuck out to go on a date with him, so it was just so fucking awkward. He's just like, so do you want me to like take you back home, or do you want your mum to take you back home? I'm like, I'll just get my mum to take me back home. I think you've suffered enough for your first date. He's like, okay. And what was it? I go, you know, we walk into the parking lot in the mall, and my mum has a friend who was a policeman, and he was looking for me as well. I'm like, oh dear fucking god, I'm so glad that the guy I went on a date with didn't walk with me to the parking lot. That was it. We didn't really go on like a second or a third date again, because I think he said like, oh, on the second date we get to kiss and stuff, and I just felt really bad because like I heard from I heard from my friend, like, he, you know, has feelings for another girl, but you know, she has issues and stuff, and he still wants to be with her, so you know, I kind of felt like I was like fucking like cock blocking him, so that's why I just like stopped. I don't know, I tried to say happy birthday to him, but I think he must have blocked me or something, but so I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, like I think that was the only reason why I just didn't go on a second date with him, because he was like so excited about the second date, but I just didn't really talk to him again, because like, you know, I kind of felt bad for, like, you know, he has feelings for another girl, and you know, I just went on a date with him, and it just, you know, and if we like actually started dating, it's just gonna be really fucking awkward, you know. It's like, it's not really worth the drama, but nonetheless, he was like a really sweet guy. Yeah, just moral of the story is tell people where you're going before you actually go places, otherwise they go to great lengths to look for you. Yeah. Alright, see you later.